want to do a reading?
Sure, I'll have to squint my eyes, but I can try. Okay,
I'll zoom,
here.
bro. Huh.
I'm a bad reader of poetry because I have a very rapid speaking style. So I will try my best. I really appreciate you having me read my poem. Take
Yeah.
me to Casablanca so I can sit in an old suit in an open air cafe, smoke cigarettes, and get drunk on cocktails in the day. Take me to Spain so I can marry architecture and bow to Gaudi. And then in Mexico, when I'm moved to tears on peyote listening to a mariachi. Then over in the American Deep South in a snake handling church, let me take strychnine to parallel my life at home. In Japan, I want to feel the slowness of tea on terrace and not obey customs and smile and feel embarrassed. In Patagonia, I want to trek after tragedy when I'm a wreck and forget all my life in my travels, see beauty unravel, and meet God.
Beautiful, bro. Beautiful. Awesome. Awesome. I love that, bro. You know what? You were just talking about
Hmm.
how it's so different when you used to write it before, and
Hmm.
now you've got your YouTube audience who's sort of interested in this, right? I find that
Right.
super, super interesting because it's almost like it's adding this layer on top of the poetry, which is your audience has some mental image of who Shaatir is. They've seen your videos, and most of that mental image is um, from your video personality, your podcast
Sure.
personality. And I think what's so interesting about this is they get to see the side of Vinamra, which firstly, they didn't know. And then now, secondly, it's in a format that is new to them because like, I don't think we have too many average poetry enjoyers, do we?
Hi, yaar. Or if they are, I think it's mostly slam poetry. What do you
Hmm.
think about slam poetry?
What
Have
is slam
you
poetry
ever
exactly?
been?
Like,
So, so slam poetry is akin to rap, but it's not exactly rap. ठीक है? You will write lines that are generally rhyming, but you will say it in a choppy manner and you will try to say it in one breath.
hmm,
That you're trying to animate the emotion you've written about.
hmm,
ठीक है? So the horrible poetry slams that I attended when I was first starting out, when I figured out कि ऐसे दिल्ली के अंदर poetry slam circuit भी है, the sort of poems I was writing back then, dense in the English language, tough to really speak, right? They were not very speaker friendly.
hmm,
So poetry slam poems are very simple and rely on very simple rhyme schemes that you can say, I was bored, I was depressed, then he got me stressed, and then I was unraveling, and then I was in a mess, and I need to breathe. Essay. They go through
hmm.
crescendos. That's how slam poems work.
I have, bro. I mean, the reason I asked is because I don't know exactly what they are, but
Hmm.
multiple occasions, different events. I think slam poetry is one of those. There is a certain performance art aspect to it, unlike maybe this,
Correct.
right? This, you're transmitting this over visuals on Instagram, which is a whole different, let's say, medium of consumption compared to
Hmm.
you're on stage. People are looking at you. They're projecting what they think of you when you're on stage, I feel. And then
Hmm.
when you start reading it, you take them through this performative narrative. I think that's quite interesting.
Ha. So, an addition to that is, I always felt like when writers write novels, they write it in isolation.
Mm.
ठीक है? The only person who workshops their writing is their editor or trusted friends who are writers, right? But then I saw the author of Fight Club and this other guy, David Sedaris, who's an American humorist. They both talked about workshopping their stories. What that means is ki after you've written the words down literally, you go and narrate them in front of an audience. While a stand-up comedian looks for laughs and dead silence, you are generally looking for people listening with bated breath. कोई ज़्यादा हिलडुल नहीं रहा, right? If you're looking for a rapt audience, you're looking कि कहाँ पे plot के अंदर जाके there is a break where people go like, or they go like, haha, that was too funny, whatever, right? Different
Mm.
emotions. So they found that if you workshop the written word for an oral for an audio audience, for an oral audience, it makes both the story memorable to speak and to read.
Hmm.
ठीक है? Because you cover both ends, which I found very interesting. So another experiment that I might try is try to workshop new poems and see how people respond to. One of the problems with speaking a poem like the one I've written is if you look at the complexity of some of the words or the images, if I go to an average Indian performance space and speak some of them, I will have lost my audience at Gaudi or Piote or stricken in, right? These make for great reading imagery, but when you speak about it,
Hmm.
it has to be crystal clear. तो उस सेंस के अंदर you have to sort of go back to the basics a lot, especially when you are talking about an audience that has English as their second language. That's what I saw at the poetry slams. So really bare bones simplicity works.
Yeah, yeah.